Now, it is my honor and privilege to introduce our second speaker for today. He studies BS Occupational Therapy at University of the Philippines, Manila, and is currently the Chief Executive and Director of Health Policy Alliance of Public Health Advocates, or ALPHA, and a peer educator member of YPeer Filipinas. He is also the chairperson of the College of Allied Medical Professions Student Council year 2020-2021, and he is also an ambassador of Impact Leadership, one of the officers at St. Pablo Youth Development Council as the Public Relations Officer. Also one of the co-founder director for Youth Engagement Sulong San Pablo, the Regional Membership Director, Youth Advocates for the Philippines Region 4A, a youth leader, a health advocate, and a public speaker. Moving on, he received awards for the 2020 UP Manila Gawad Chancellor Outstanding Student and 2020 Kabayani Awards, Angat Kabataan for Outstanding COVID-19 Response Initiative. He is also a trained psychological first aider, empath, an outstanding youth, Youth for Youth, and also a pioneer member, Batch Agla, ASEAN Youth Engagement Summit, Asia Leaders Cohort. And he is none other than future R4JPians. Let us all welcome Mr. Samuel Madriaga.
Ayan, so good afternoon, no? So thank you so much PJ and Naya for introducing me kanina. Sorry, na-spoil yung introduction. Nag-crash yung laptop ko kanina, but thankfully na-recover naman yung file. Okay, so good afternoon everyone. So magandang umaga pala. Good morning to everyone. Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. So again, thank you so much for inviting me to this ABM Summit. No, I am really privileged and honored na makasama kayo this morning, and let's talk about good leadership. No, what it means na magkaroon tayo ng magandang rapport building skills and interpersonal skills with our fellow constituents. So allow me to share my screen lang. Grabe talaga kanina, intense. Like napachat ako kay MJ. Share ko lang while I am sharing my screen. Kala ko nag-crash, kala ko nawala rin yung file ko kasi hindi ako save ng file. But yeah, for this morning, I would be talking about how to take leadership into the next level. No, I know naman all of us here are leaders. That's why we're here, no. And if hindi naman, if wala pa tayong leadership role or leadership positions na tinitake in our lives, it's okay to start now, no? Mas maganda na makapag-start kayo ngayon in order for you to build the skills that you need para sa pag-lead nyo in your future organizations. So, the topic that I will be talking about right now is all about how can you take your leadership position or your leadership skills into the next level through manifesting the power of rapport building. So, pero kala niyo mabigat eh, no? Pero honestly, alam na naman natin lahat na to. Maybe PJ, Sinaya, or even si Caitlin, which is your president, nakita ko lang sa nickname. Maybe all of you knows how to, kumbaga, utilize yung mismong power of yung rapport building, your interpersonal skills. Kasi every day, we are communicating with people, especially right now in the, during the pandemic, mahalaga sa atin na nakikipag-communicate tayo sa ibang tao. And ginagawa natin yun because we are social beings. So innate sa atin na we communicate with other people even though introvert tayo, we still communicate to our friends, to our trusted friends. And in leadership, malaki yung role ng rapport building natin, interpersonal skills natin. But before that, bago natin i-take yung leadership natin to the next level, I'm warning you lang guys, this would be an interactive lecture or plenary. Kaya I will be asking some of you to speak or to open your mic if that's allowed, no? Pero yeah, let's make this interactive para hindi lang ako yung nagsasalita. We can empower each other. I can learn from you and you can learn from me as well. Okay, the first question that I would like to ask to all of you is why? Bakit natin kailangan mag-build ng rapport with other people? Ano nga ba yung rapport, di ba? Ano nga ba yung rapport? And bakit natin siya kailangan na i-take into leadership positions natin or the leadership skills na ginagawa natin? Actually, most of the leaders today know what is leadership. Alam nila kung ano yung leadership, ano yung pamumuno. Alam nila kung bakit sila nasa leadership position. But konti lang sa kanila yung may kaya na mag-build ng relationships with other people. Most of them knows yung mga rules, no, alam nila kung paano mo i-engage yung ibang tao, alam nila kung paano nila i-reach yung vision nila. Because maraming leaders sa atin ngayon, self-serving yung mga intentions na ginagawa. and they know how to reach their visions. Pero kokonti lang sa mga leaders natin today, yung kaya talaga makipag-engage sa communities into the large masses, kaya nilang i-communicate yung vision nila ng maayos sa ibang tao, kokonti lang din yung may kaya na makipag-communicate and to build relationships with their constituents. Okay? Kaya maraming leader din yung nag-fail into the position or the organizations na hinahandle nila because they cannot build relationships with their own people. Now, pag-alaman natin, bakit nga ba kailangan ng rapport building? So let's take two scenarios din sa umagang to. No? Let's take two examples. For the first one, we all know naman, alam ko, miss na miss nyo na yung face-to-face classes. Ako rin, miss na miss ko na. But we do not know sa UPM siguro next month or by March, babalik na ata kami. We do not know yet. Pero alam ko marami sa atin, we do miss face-to-face classes. For the first scenario, kaya may groupings kayo. Right? Tinig natin sa high school level muna. Sa groupings natin, di ba, we have different roles. Meron taga-sulat sa Manila paper, may mga naghahawak lang ng Manila paper, meron talagang leaders. But the role that has been assigned to you is to become the group leader. Pero, ang key natin dito sa scenario na to is that you're a leader of a random new group of people. Kasi ikaw ay bago lang, kaka-transfer mo lang doon sa school. And you are assigned to be the leader of the group na hindi mo makakakilala yung members. So you are tasked to do something, and what will you do as the group leader of that random people? Okay? So very basic yung natin, scenario lang natin. But let me ask some people lang. Actually kanina, nung hindi pa ako naghahang, may nasulat na akong pangalan dito. Okay, so let's have from Carol Baldeo. Nandiyan ba siya? Hello, Carol? You can unmute para mas maging interactive tayo. Or you can chat through the Zoom chat na meron tayo. So, nandito ba si Carol? If wala, let's call another person na lang. Okay, going once, twice. Okay, sige. Wala pa si Carol. So, let's take na lang muna. Si Kate. Kate, hello? Sa media committee ata siya.
Hello po. Good morning po.
Good morning. Sorry, ikaw yung natap ko in behalf of Carol, no?
Yes,
you're given this scenario. What will you do?
Dahil po hindi ko po kilala sila, I will ask them to volunteer for specific task. Kasi yung parang kung kilala ko na po sila, alam ko na yung kaya nilang i-provide for the group. Pero dahil I'm new to this group, ay kailangan ko pong kilalanin muna kung saan area sila confident rather than guessing na ito yung papagawa ko sa'yo.
Okay. So, very good answer from Kate, no? Pero, what if ayun na yung plan mo, wala gusto mong alamin kung ano sila area of expertise or something na ganun, how will you start the conversation with them? Like, ano yung mood na ibibigay mo sa kanila? Parang ganun.
Ayun, parang very welcoming po kasi I believe na kung hindi para ma-welcome nila ako, kailangan na ma-welcome ko din sila as leader and i-welcome nila ako as sila yung members ko. Yun
okay,
parang leading the conversation na para mag-volunteer sila na mag-contribute. Yun po.
Okay, so very good answer from Kate, no? So, sasabi niya, i-lead niya yung para mag-contribute sila. And ayun nga, very welcoming yung mood na ibibigay niya dun sa members na meron siya na na-assign sa kanya, which is very good. Kasi yun talaga yung ginagawa natin. And the basics on the fundamentals of communication, that's what we do as leaders then. So, thank you so much, Kate, for answering, no? So, that's for the scenario 1, okay? And maybe some of you would have different approach. Pero maganda, alam natin kung ano yung fundamentals of how we can build communication or build rapport to these people. So the second scenario natin, siguro most of you or some of you, I do not know, makaka-relate to second scenario natin. For example, let's have it more intimate naman. So scenario 2 natin, you found yourself to be in a conflict naman, sa jowa mo or sa MU kung uso pa yun. Or sa mga tinatawag nyo na B or kino-consider nyo na mga special someone nyo. May conflict naman kayo with them. Of course, in this scenario, medyo conflicted or meron kayong problem in terms of your rapport. So what would you do? Okay? So let's take it in a more intimate. Okay lang magsagot yung kahit wala pang mga single natin na members pa rin dito or participants natin. Okay, so for this scenario siguro, I'll ask, Teka, nag-scroll lang ako. Si Lori. Lori Grace Gaa. Nandiyan ka ba, Lori? Hello? Okay, sige. Kung wala pa si Lori, ask natin si John Ricks. John Ricks Evangelista. Hello, John Ricks. Nandiyan ka ba? Sana nandyan kayo. Sige. If wala si John Ricks, sige, I'll ask PJ na lang. Since siya yung nakikita ko dito na active. So, PJ, what will be your answer for this scenario?
Ano sa akin, sa brain ko dito, I'll lower ko yung kakausapin ko siya ng mahinahon. Kung may conflict ako sa kanya, and I know kung I'm at fault naman, kakausapin ko siya, I'll say sorry, tapos I'll ask her opinion, bakit siya nagalit, ano bang mali. And at saka syempre hindi may iwasan na magkaroon ng conflict when you have jowa, MU or B. And part din 'yon ng talagang relationship if you have one. And ayun, ibababa ko yung pride ko, and syempre in order for a relationship to work, you need communication and yung mutual understanding para mag-work yung relationship. So, ayun yung gagawin ko.
Okay, garang may jowa ka ba, PJ? Expert ka na. Kailangan ko ng service ka na. Okay, sige. Thank you so much for that answer, no, PJ. So, yun nga, katulad na sabi ni PJ, when you're confronted with the conflict, no, in any relationship man yan, whether in your personal relationship with other people or whether in a relationship in an organization, kailangan mo talaga minsan mag-a-adjust ka pa rin. Okay? Kailangan minsan ibababa mo yung sarili mo. You need to step aside as minsan. Diba? Alam naman natin yun. That's a basic mechanism lang of how you resolve conflicts. Pero, in the leadership, kailangan, minsan ba naisip din ba natin na when we are confronted with a conflict, naisip din ba natin minsan that we need to adjust? Kunwari ikaw yung leader mismo and you are having a problem with your member, have it ever occurred into your mind na kailangan mo rin na ibaba yung pride mo or ibaba yung mismong position that you have in order for you to resolve that conflict? And that's part of rapport building. Okay, that's part of your interpersonal skills. Kasi doon makikita yung emotional intelligence ng leader. If you are capable enough of building relationships talaga, yung genuine relationship mo with the people that you are leading. Okay? So, yun lang yung mga scenarios natin. Meron yung scenario na you are just a beginning of becoming a leader. Meron naman na nandun na yung pagiging leader mo, but you are confronted naman with the conflict. Kasi mahalaga na ma-analyze pa rin natin yun. Mahalaga na makapagkaroon tayo ng reflection on this one in order for us to become effective leaders. Not just good leaders, but become effective leaders. Okay? So, next na tayo. Now, gusto ko lang sabihin sa inyo, yung scenarios natin na i-discuss ko sa inyo actually is connected to the research made by one corporation, yung Impact. May gawa sila ng report mismo on this one. And silang sabi nila, in the corporate world, we have 69% of managers na nag-fail to organize communication with their employees. And sabi dun sa report na yun, actually, sabi dun sa mismong research na ginawa nila, 90% of executives believe na nagre-relate or attributed yung mga failure na yun to organize communication dun sa mababang performance ng mga companies na meron sila. Sabi nung 90% of executives, attributed daw yung success or failure ng leaders with their ability to organize communication. And sabi naman ng 30%, actually, sa report, sinabi nila, there are 30% of employees na nagkukwit sa jobs nila or nagkukwit dun sa mismo trabaho nila because of the poor management ng kanilang mga managers na hindi nila man lang napapansin yung accomplishments nila. They are not able to communicate with their employees mismo. Kaya sila nagkukwit because of the poor satisfaction na na-attribute or nagli-lead dun sa poor communication strategy ng managers nila. So in the corporate world, no, in the corporate field, makikita natin the essence of the communication and rapport building dun sa leadership strategies or leadership skills mismo na ine-embody ng managers natin. If you see, 69% is a huge number. Okay? Kapag nag-fail ka ng 69% in your leadership skills, I know most probably mag-fail na rin yung organization nyo. And I'm glad kasi nagkaroon kayo ng ganitong summit. It just shows na maganda yung ang rapport building skills ng leaders nyo here in your organization. Because without that leadership skills, without their communication skills, ABM Summit won't happen. Okay, so I applaud yung mga leaders natin, especially yung mga MCs natin, because you are able to build relationships with your members even through online. It's a very, very difficult job. Okay, lalo na kapag nakikita mo lang yung clips nila, di ba, yung mga profile pictures nila. And you're doing a great job, guys, because of that. Because sinasabi ni James Humes, or kung ano man yung pronunciation niya, the art of communication is the language of leadership. Okay? The art of communication is actually the language of leadership. For without communication, you cannot lead. Yun yung sinasabi nila. Bakit? Okay? Analyze natin yung mismong quotation na to from James, no? Sinasabi niya, na, baka James nakala mo close, pero natin na, sinasabi niya dito na without the art of communication, a person cannot lead. Bakit? Ano ba yung principal root mismo ng leadership? Paano ba nagkakaroon ng leadership? Diba? It's because of influence. And how can you influence other people if you cannot communicate your vision to them? Diba? And how can you communicate? It's building rapport, building interpersonal skills. Diba? So, makikita natin doon na leadership, you cannot influence other people if you do not know how to communicate, if you do not know how to initiate conversations with other people. Ayun yung mahalaga sa atin. Because that's a key for us to be effective. Okay? And in the context na meron tayo ngayon during the pandemic, actually, communication puts added pressure to leaders of today. Kunwari, let's put an example. Sa personal example ko muna. Sa akin, I'm the chairperson of the student council namin sa UPM camp. And mahirap makipag-communicate ngayon with my fellow leaders in the council kasi alam ko na may pinagdadaanan din sila in terms of mental health, in terms of academic pressures. And when you communicate with them, it adds pressure to you na iniisip mo na susuportahan ka ba nila? There's a fear na baka ma-reject yung sinasabihin mo, or there's a fear na baka mag-lead yun to another burden ng fellow leaders mo. Actually, communication puts added pressure sa mga leaders natin ngayon. Especially right now na hindi kayo makapag-meet face-to-face or you cannot meet ng maayos. Ang communication nyo lang mismo is yung through online lang. Kaya mahalaga pa rin that we strive to make communication and to make conversations with other people. Kasi that's the only way that we can forge a shared vision to other leaders mismo. Kasi as leaders, we are responsible and we are accountable of building a community na may shared vision. Kasi ayun yung part yon ng paggawa mo ng influence. If you are able to share your vision, your goals, or direction mo to your constituents, then you are an effective leader. Kaya mahalaga pa rin yung communication natin. Even though online na ginagawa natin ngayon, even though in the context of the pandemic, na hindi natin alam kung kailan pa matatapos, no, unless magkaroon talaga ng effective system, pero mahalaga yung communication, rapport building natin into communicating your shared vision. And alam ko, medyo fundamental na to sa atin, and we have heard a lot about this. Pero gusto ko lang i-share sa inyo, paano ba nag-work yung rapport building skill into a leadership organization? Okay? Paano ba nag-spark ang vision into an organization or into empowerment? So let's see. So we have here a basic concept map of how rapport building or communication skills actually work in an organization. For example, we have this leader. Let's take si Caitlin na for an example kasi siya yung president nyo. For example, Caitlin, meron siyang vision. Na-envision niya na parang gusto kong magkaroon ng ABM Summit this January ano ngayon? January 31. Parang gusto kong magkaroon ng ABM Summit. That's a vision. In order for you to educate your fellow accountancy students. Now, yung vision na yun, in order for you to empower other people, you need to communicate that to your members. So, kinommunicate ko na ni Caitlin na, guys, gusto ko sa Execo muna. Guys, gusto ko magkaroon ng ABM Summit, blah, 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 blah. Gawa tayo ng project proposal. So, from that communication, para siya magpatuloy, kasi if that mag-end up lang sa communication process, yung mismong vision na yun, it won't really have an output. So, kailangan, through the vision na ginawa ni Caitlin, kailangan ma-motivate niya pa rin yung members niya to act upon dun sa vision na yun. So, kaya doon sa motivation part na to, ito na yung part ng building process nyo of building yung mga projects nyo or program nyo for this ABM Summit, na mo-motivate mo, dito mo na na-influence mo na yung mga kasamahan mo, okay, sige, gawin natin yan, YouTuber, ganun. So, when you start to motivate them. And nag-aakapan na kayo sa mismong vision na meron yung isang leader nyo or yung mismong community na pinagsabihan ng vision na yon, you're able to empower your members. And by that, you are able to create yung actions na kailangan nyo para mag-move towards yung organization dun sa goal na meron kayo from the start. Okay? So you need to communicate, to create motivations for the group, and to empower other people through the rapport skills, the rapport building skills na meron ka. Okay? This is a simple concept map lang of how interpersonal skills relate to leadership, no, and organization building. Now, I want you to remember na sa leadership, you must inspire others not through your position, but through the way you relate to them as people. Okay, this is one fundamental thing na kailangan nating maintindihan in leadership. I have two examples for you na meron according to research, no. Sinabi na doon, meron siyang dalawang superior officers doon sa military. Meron siyang dalawang superior officers sa military. Yung isa, pangalan natin yung isa na, sige, yung host na lang natin. Pangalan natin yung isa si PJ. Si PJ yung isang military officer. Si PJ, sinusunod niya talaga, by the book talaga yung pagsunod niya. So, nagli-lead siya by the book, by the rules, and ino-obey niya mismo yung mga rules for the sake na ma-promote mismo siya sa military mismo para mag-rank up siya sa military. Then, we have another military officer, si Naya. Si Naya naman, hindi siya katulad ni PJ na by the book sumusunod, but rather, si Naya, nagko-convey siya ng magandang interpersonal skill na parang pag pumasok siya sa pinto, yung mga tao maglalapitan na sa kanya kasi parang good vibes yung dinadala niya. Parang gano'n. Okay? Now, in a specific example, sabi nung pareha silang sinusunod kasi pareha silang superior, pero magkaiba yung way kung bakit sila, magkaiba yung reason bakit sila sinusunod. Si PJ, sinusunod siya because other people sees him as an authoritarian figure. Kasi, kailangan mo siyang sundin because of the duty that you have, because of the position na meron si PJ. Yun yung reason kung bakit sumusunod yung mga tao. But si Naya, sumusunod sila kay Naya kasi they treat them as humans mismo. Parang humanitarian or kumbaga humane yung treatment ni Naya to other people. Nandun yung relationship building niya. Now, dahil makikita naman natin doon, depende on what type of leadership we want to embrace, makikita naman natin doon, parehas naman silang sinusunod. Pero aling type of leadership, yung makikita mo na mataas yung possibility that there's commitment from the followers mismo. Okay? So, makakuha ka mismo ng commitment from other people if you are able to relate to them as people mismo, as human beings. So, you need to inspire other people through, not because of your position, but through the way you relate to them as people. Okay, that's a very fundamental thing na kailangan nating maintindihan because of today, we know naman kung ano yung political climate natin or yung mismong climate natin into the student councils or any organizations na meron tayo. Kailangan nating maintindihan to and kailangan nating maunawaan pa rin ano yung kahalagahan of building relationships in your own organizations or yung constituents nyo. Okay? And mind you, the absence of rapport is a ground for dysfunctionality and failure of organizations to meet yung desired objectives. Katulad nga na sinabi natin kanina, if you are not able to share your shared vision to your constituents, that's a ground for dysfunctionality and failure. Mataas yung probability na mag-fail yung organization. And I knew a lot of organizations, malaking organization na siya, and hindi nakapag-build ng magandang relationship yung leader to his fellow members. And what happened is that nag-fail lang yung organization. Hindi natuloy yung mismong direction na pinupuntahan nila, hindi nag-materialize yung mismong objectives na meron sila. Okay? So, why do we need to build rapport? Mahalaga yon. Kasi, if you want to succeed, you need to communicate. Okay? Now, from one study na ginawa ni Tuckman last 1965 pa, so pinag-aralan namin siya lang before, I want to share to you guys. Mahalaga na before you build yung rapport mismo sa isang organization or before you build relationships, alamin nyo muna kung saan na dito sa spectrum na to bumababa yung inyong organization. This is called the forming, storming, norming, and performing model. So for the leaders na meron tayo dito, so isa execom siguro, kunyari, let's take JPIA Region 4A as an example. Kunyari, meron tayo dito, sabi dito sa model na to, we have the forming stage. All organizations undergo this processes. In the forming stage, sinasabi dito, ito yung total formality. Ibig sabihin, binubuo niyo pa lang yung organization, naghahakot ka pa lang ng members, binubuo mo pa lang yung execom mo. So dito daw, total formality pa lang. So you're figuring out the rules of the organization. Meron pang iba't ibang goals. Kasi from a diverse group of people, pinagsama-sama mo sila to form an organization. So syempre, magkakaroon ka ng iba't ibang goal. That's the forming stage. Okay? So I don't think na yung JP Region 4A is nandito pa kasi alam ko naman na built na kayo, established na kayo as an organization. Now, let's proceed to the second stage. So in order for you to know what kind of interpersonal skill do you need to embrace in an organization, kailangan malaman mo to. So in the forming stage, dito daw, more authentic yung mismong relationship ng mga tao. More argumentative kasi dito sa part na to, nagbe-brainstorm na kayo of possible solutions or possible framework na gagamitin nyo into your organizations. So medyo argumentative pa yung nangyayari dito. You are testing the waters. Yun yung mga tamang term for the storming stage. And you are exploring power and influence. Dito tinitingnan mo sino ba yung leader dito, sino ba yung nangunguna, can I lead? Parang ganun yung mga tinatanong mo dito. Pwede ba akong mag-lead dito? Okay ba yung approach ko dito? Sino ba yung authority figure dito? Parang ganun sa storming stage natin. Now, in the norming stage, it's more of how you adapt to the organization. It's more commitment dun sa group goals and more cohesive na and cooperative na kayo. It's a middle stage na na-figure out niya na, ito yung leader, ito yung kailangan sundin, ito yung mismong goal ng organization namin, and I have shared my own arguments now with the organization. So in the norming stage, I will commit na to this organization. I will be, kumbaga, pledging my commitment to this organization to serve the organization according to its vision. Okay? So sa norming stage, medyo nagbe-blend in na kayo as an organization. Okay? And then, in the performing stage, this is the time na kina-carry out nyo na yung vision of the organization. So it's more of, you have a shared vision na, meron na kayong feelings of unity and yung diversity is respected. So dito, this is the ideal stage na pwedeng pwedeng ilagay ng organization sa sarili nila, na pwedeng buuin ng isang organization. When you're in the performing stage, dito, you can do everything na ginagawa nyo according to the vision that you have. Okay? Kasi dito, accepted na yung diversity, welcoming na kayo to the ideas of other people, parang ganun. So, ibig sabihin dito, solidified na yung rapport ng isang organization. And the last one, which is actually the sad one, this is the adjourning stage. So adjourning stage naman nito, hindi ibig sabihin madi-disband yung organization ha. In the adjourning stage, this is the time na ang ginagawa nyo na dito is magta-transition na kayo to another execom. Okay? Pwedeng i-end yung organization, pero pwede namang mag-transition kayo to another execom. Yung another execom naman na yun, sila naman yung magpupunta sa forming stage. Okay? So, in the adjourning stage, it's more of debriefing, ending, ano nangyari, mamimiss ko kayo guys, ganito, ganyan. So, parang ganun lang yun. So, from this model, I want you to analyze, saan na yung Region 4A, JPIA Region 4A in this model? And what type of, kumbaga, rapport building skills yung kailangan kong i-embody within myself in order for me to facilitate yung effective leadership in the organization. So that's a challenge for you guys. That's for you to analyze kung nasaan na kayo sa model na to. Okay? And yeah, katulad nga sinasabi ko sa inyo, let's go back always to our why. So why you should build a rapport, to summarize lang, it prepares actually the organizations for success. Katulad nga ng binigay natin dito sa model na to. If you are able to build your rapport from forming, storming to norming stage, ma-build nyo agad yung success mismo sa organization nyo because you have the feeling of unity. Sinasabi ni Tuckman dun sa study niya na ginawa niya before, sinasabi niya dun na maraming organizations nagsiskip from forming to performing na agad. So, nagpo-form pa lang sila, gusto na agad nilang mag-skip into performing stage. And a lot of those organizations, nagfe-fail sila, bumabalik at bumabalik pa rin sila dito sa storming stage. Nagiging argumentative pa rin yung climate or yung environment na meron sila sa kanilang organization. Kasi, hindi nila napagdaanan ng maayos yung relationship building dun sa organization na yon. So, it's very important for us as leaders. So, ano pa yung mga benefits of building rapport? Of course, greater engagement. When you feel na your leader actually has a relationship to you as a member, mas may engage ka, di ba? Parang you feel very valued, na parang mahalaga ka sa organization. So, it's one thing na mabibigay ng rapport building natin, no? Parang when you treat your members as your friend, di ba, mas mahalaga, mas maganda yon kasi may engage lalo sila. Okay? It breeds empowerment, katulad ng model na pinakita natin sa inyo. Better management, establish working alliances. Ibig sabihin, when you work, mas okay kasi you have already built a relationship with him or her. And meron tayong open culture and working environment. So mas mahalaga na open tayo to diversity. And we will tackle that later on. Okay? So that's the benefits lang of why you should build a rapport. Of course, you have your own reasons. But I hope as you build yung rapport nyo with other people, I hope you know your intentions as well. Na sana yung intentions mo of building friendship or relationship to other people would not be self-serving. Okay? Sana yung reason mo of why you build friendship or kumbaga, why you engage with other people, why you engage with your members would not be something to satisfy or to fulfill the goals that you have for yourself. Sana hindi siya self-satisfying or self-serving yung reason mo, no? Or you build rapport in order for you to build a community. Okay? That's very important for us. Kasi mas mahalaga na we empower other people to make them better than us. Para in order for that to happen, kailangan mag-build ka rin ng rapport with them or relationship with them. Okay? So I hope we could take note of that, no, guys? So it's a very important thing lang in leadership. Now, the question naman, alam na natin yung why, ano? Alam na natin yung why on the significance of rapport building to leadership. That's actually the primary step of taking your leadership skills into the next level. But the question now is, paano? Di ba? Ay, mahirap eh. Parang alam mo kung bakit, pero hindi mo alam kung paano. Okay? So, paano natin gagawin yon? So, gusto ko sana, I don't know if possible siya, siguro, Naya or PJ, you can help me with this one. Let's engage yung ating yung mga members natin. I don't know if possible siya na makapag-annotate tayo dito. So, if you guys can annotate, pwede kayo maglagay dito nung, kumbaga, ano lang yung mga rapport building skills na alam nyo, or how do you build relationship with other people. Pero most often times, the reason why tayo nagbi-build ng rapport is to build relationships, di ba? And marami sa atin, ang alam natin of building rapport, para magawa natin siya, it's to mirror the character of other people. Ini-mirror natin, like, ano yung values mo? Yun na rin yung values ko. Para makapag-build tayo ng relationship, mas maganda yung maging pasamahan natin, di ba? Parang ganun. Meron din naman sa atin, we make eye contact, pagka face-to-face, we follow yung mga, anong tawag dito? Yung mga body languages, yung mga ganung natin ng building rapport. So, I want you guys to annotate dito. Mag-type lang kayo sa screen ng mga skills na alam nyo of how can you communicate with other people. There's no right or wrong answer. Okay, nakikita ko si Laika. Laika, ituloy mo na yan. Be an example na lang din to your fellow participants here sa Zoom. So, type nyo lang dito. Ano yung mga skills na alam nyo of how you can build rapport with other people. Okay? Sige, go lang. Siguro we can have 1 minute for this one. Para sana may maglagay. If wala naman, it's okay. Para makapag-proceed din tayo sa next. Okay, wait lang. Okay, yeah. Feel free to share your thoughts, guys. Pwede kayong mag-chat sa Zoom group chat natin. Pwede rin kayong mag-type dito. Okay, walang mali or tamang sagot. You can annotate. So, yan. Maglagay lang kayo dyan. Para interactive tayo. Sige. Let's wait siguro if meron. Ayan, sabi ni Shane, putting yourself on other shoes para you understand them. Wow, that's actually great. Tama yun. Empathy, di ba? So that's one. We have one na. We have empathy para mas mauntawaan mo yung ibang tao. Actually, nakuha ni Shane yung isang point natin mamaya sa discussion. So, very good, Shane. Sabi ni PJ, find the common ground. Yes, that's true. Find the common ground. Hanapin mo yung middle ground among the members mo. Especially if you're really diverse. Actually, I'm commending you guys kasi Region 4A to, buong region natin sa Calabarzon, but yet you have found the common ground, I believe. Kasi nakapagawa na kayo ng maraming projects. So, that's true, PJ. Thank you for that. Sige, feel free. Last one, siguro. Yeah, we have from Laika, intersubjectivity and truthfulness. That's very valuable to leadership. We have Angelo, understanding someone's feelings, emotions, and communicating well. Yeah, I think yung kay Angelo, wait lang. Yung sinabi ni Angelo, That's really very relevant as of today. Kasi marami sa mga leaders natin, we often neglect yung mga nararamdaman ng members natin, especially when we are communicating with them. Minsan, nag-uutos tayo or kung hindi tayo nag-uutos, nagde-deliberate tayo or nagde-delegate minsan tayo ng task sa kanila, pero hindi natin napapansin yung nararamdaman na nila mismo of accepting those tasks. Minsan, hindi natin napapansin na burden na pala sa kanila, and minsan nagiging insensitive tayo towards their feelings. And that's something na red flag for us in building rapport. Kasi kailangan maging sensitive tayo to their feelings, their emotions. So thank you for that, Angelo. Very good tayo dyan. And we have from this one, hindi ko nakita yung name, pero create shared experiences. Wow, thank you so much for that. That's true. We create shared experiences with other people, no? And that's very relevant to us. That's very significant. Kasi maganda, that builds memories in an organization. So thank you so much, guys. It's siguro for the sharing natin. I have learned a lot from you guys, actually. Marami ako, na-remind ako. Thank you for sharing those thoughts, no? Now, let's proceed. Actually, meron na naman pala kayong no? Wait lang, burihin natin yung disable annotation. Okay. Wait lang, hindi ko alam kung paano burahin. Yun lang. siguro mamaya na. Hayaan nyo na lang muna yung nilagay nyo dyan. Hindi ko siya mabura Teka. Okay, sige mamaya na. Okay, committed leadership. Nagpasulat, tas di nyo pala kayang burahin, no? So, okay, committed leadership yung natin. One way for us to build rapport with other people is actually to embrace committed leadership. Hindi lang basta leadership, okay guys? In order for you to be effective, hindi lang basta leader ka. You need to be committed to the role or to the duty na meron ka. As sabi to ni Simon Sinek, that it's very important for us to commit ourselves dun sa members natin. Hindi lang sila yung magko-commit to the duties that you have for them, but rather you commit also to their organization, you commit yourself to the members mismo, to their feelings, to their needs mismo. Ayun yung tinatawag natin committed leadership. And this is the key for us in order for us to become more effective in building relationships with other people. And marami sa leaders natin as of today, they can say na leader sila. They can say na alam nila na yung mga fundamentals into leadership, but they are not committed to knowing the needs of their members. Kaya ang nangyayari dito, palit ng member, palit lang ng palit, hindi na nagpo-progress yung mismong organization. Naiiwan yung leader. Bakit? Kasi hindi ka naman naging committed in the first place into building relationship with them So kailangan, we are committed enough para mag-build ng rapport with them. Okay? So hindi lang basta leadership kailangan committed leadership. Tatanong ka pa lang kasi dito, kayo ba? Like, marami sa atin na natakot to committing Parang, pag commitment is a huge word. Okay? Very sa panahon natin ngayon, sobrang hirap mag-commit, especially to organization. Hindi in relationships lang muna. In organization, sobrang hirap mag-commit. Especially when it talks about na may problem kayo sa sarili mo, and how can you commit to other people, di ba? That's a really challenging thing to do. Pero, as leaders pa rin, kumbaga, meron ka rin responsibility of sharing yung experiences mo to other people. Katulad nga na nakalagay dito, di ba? Create shared experiences. Para at least, and maging two-way yung relationship nyo. Okay? So, sana hindi kayo takot mag-commit, no? Sana hindi kayo takot sa commitment. Because that's very essential to leadership. And how can we form committed leadership? Kailangan alam mo muna yung fundamentals of communication. Go back to the basics. Alam mo ba talaga yung process of communication? Alam mo ba kung paano mag-initiate ng conversation? Parang ganon. Now, building trust, kailangan natin yan. Very, that's a huge word, trust. And kailangan you speak to their language, to the language of your constituents, to the language of the community. Okay? Kasi hindi ka nila maiintindihan if you won't speak to their language. Magiging superior yung position na itinitake mo. You need to be genuine. You need to show confidence to other people that you can lead and you can take care of them. And you need to embrace diversity. Now, isa-isahin natin. Okay? Ito yung key natin to committed leadership, no? Okay na sana yung slide, no? Hindi ko lang talaga mabura yung annotation. Baka naman may tayo dyan. Ito. Clear. Clear also. Yan, okay. Nahanap ko na rin. Okay. So, next. Now, let's talk about the fundamentals of communication. So, ang sabi natin, it is very essential for a leader or committed leader na malaman ano yung fundamentals of communication. Balik tayo sa oral communication natin nung high school, nung senior high. Ito yung basics of communication. This is the common flow na meron tayo. Di ba? May iba't ibang model yan. But this is the common model. So we have the sender, we encode, we send the message, we receive, we give feedback, ganito, ganyan. It's a two-way communication. So, in order for you, bakit mahalaga yung fundamentals of communication? Kailangan, as a leader, you know or you understand yung mga non-verbal languages na alam mo para makapag-facilitate ka ng effective communication. And the hardest thing na pwedeng magawa or hardest thing na gagawin na isang leader talaga is how can you initiate conversations. Okay? It's very, very difficult. Sa iba madali, pero sa iba mahirap. Kunwari, binigyan ka na isang role into an organization. Tapos bago lahat ng members mo, anong gagawin mo, di ba? How will you initiate conversation? Dito, sabi ng mga leaders natin, you need to ask smart questions. If you are going to initiate conversations with other people that you do not know, you need to initiate by asking smart questions. Hindi yung mga questions na basta-basta lang. Okay? Kasi, yung mga first impression pa rin natin, although you need to be yourself, but your first impression natin, that would really influence yung mismong leadership role na ginagampanan mo, you stand mo as a leader. Okay? Kailangan you need to ask smart questions. Okay? So, that's one thing na pwede natin gawin. You need to initiate conversations by using smart questions. Okay? So, mahalaga yun to other people. The next one is building trust. This is the core of influence. Okay, guys? So, tandaan natin na in leadership, if wala tiwala sa'yo yung mga members mo, everything will be useless. Okay, kailangan makita nila that you are capable enough of leading them para pagkatiwalaan ka nila and para maging okay or comfortable yung relationship nila with you. Okay, so this is the core of influence. Sinasabi nila that trust is actually something that binds yung leadership mo at saka yung leadership role mo with your members. Kasi kapag hindi sila nagtitiwala sa'yo, wala rin mangyayari. Just same lang din with the relationships, di ba? Kapag hindi ka naman nagtitiwala sa partner mo, wala naman mangyayari, di ba? So, it is the core of influence na meron tayo sa ibang tao. And the third one, you need to speak to their language. So, sinare ko nung meme na to, kasi super siya nakakatawa. So, meron language barrier. Hindi siya totally language barrier kasi name lang siya. But technically, if you do not understand the language of the people that you are engaging with, you won't be able to effectively influence them. Okay? Kunwari, si Justin, nakita ko si name ni Justin dito. Right? Si Justin, pumunta siya sa isang remote area. And may ibang language yung area na yon. And if you're a leader that you want to engage them, especially kunwari lang, for example, Justin has the advocacy for health. Kunwari gusto mo silang i-influence, i-increase yung vaccine confidence nila. How will you be able to effectively influence them about the advocacy that you have if you do not know their language? If you do not know how to speak to their language. When I say na speak to their language, kung kailangan mo i-laymanize yung terms na meron ka, i-laymanize mo. If kailangan mo siyang pasimplihin mo. If kailangan complex, gawin mong complex. Okay? Para maintindihan ng tao. Remember, it's not about you. It's about the community that you're speaking with. Okay? It is about the community na nililid mo. It's about the constituents na pinangungunahan mo. Kailangan maintindihan ka nila in order for you to create the shared vision na meron kayo. Okay? You need to speak to their language. So, kailangan i-immerse mo yung sarili mo to the context of your people. Kasi kunwari, you are future accountants, di ba? Future accountants kayo, let's claim it. So, if kunwari may mga linggo kayo, of course may professional linggo tayo, di ba? Kunwari kami sa OT, we have our own words or technicalities in terms of our terms and languages na ginagamit namin. What if, kunwari kami, for the context namin, paano namin mako-communicate sa tao or sa client namin yung tamang therapy session para sa kanya if hindi niya naman naiintindihan yung sinasabi ko? Di ba? Kunwari kayo, sa accountancy din, paano nyo matutulungan yung mga kliyente nyo or yung mga tao na namimit nyo or nakaka-interact nyo if you won't be able to speak your language or you speak your message to them using their own language? Kailangan maging adaptable tayo, maging flexible tayo into these things kasi it breeds effective communication. Okay? So, speak to their language. Next, embrace diversity. Kailangan maging open tayo to the diverse ideas of our fellow members kasi it breeds progression. Okay, diversity is actually a catalyst of progression. Effective leaders are able to maximize it for an organization's growth and development. May mga leaders natin na nag-fail sila because they are not open to ideas of other members. Okay? But effective leaders lang yung kayang mag-utilize ng diversity na to para gamitin mo sa growth ng organization nyo. Actually, diversity can either make or break the organization. Kapag masyado kayong diverse, it can break the organization's unity, it can break the organization's rapport. Kapag ka naman yung diversity nyo na-utilize ng leader nyo into something beneficial for the organization, jackpot yun. Okay? Ibig sabihin, mataas yung percentage that you will grow together. Wow, sweet, no? Pero that's the fact. Totoo yun. Okay? Next, yung fifth one natin, you need to convey confidence. Leaders or effective leaders, alam ko na iba-iba yung character natin, yung personalities natin, but actually confidence builds your members' commitment. Okay? Kapag nakikita nila that you are confident enough in leading them or going to this direction or materializing your vision, if confident, makita nila na confident ka dun sa vision na meron ka, of course, it will, eventually, they will follow you. Kaya you need to convey confidence to other people. Pauti-uti, hindi naman overnight nagagawa yung confidence na magkakaroon ka ng confidence. Pauti-uti yan. You need to empower them. Empower yourself as well. The last one, which is very essential, is for you to be genuine. Okay? Kailangan, if you want to build relationship or rapport with other people, kailangan maging genuine ka in forming relationships with them. Not to serve your own intentions, but the intentions of the people. Intentions of the needs of the people mismo. Okay? Kailangan ma-value mo yung mga pangangailangan nila. Okay? While being genuine enough as a leader. So effective communication entails unclouded personalities between two persons communicating. Mahirap mag-form ng rapport if alam mo sa sarili mo na may harang or may barrier ka pa na kino-convey sa tao na yon. If alam mo na hindi mo pa binibigay yung mismo kailangan niyang malaman from you, so mahirap mag-form ng relationship. Kailangan unclouded yung personality mo. Kung sino ka, portray that to the people. Para portray that to the members na meron ka in order for you to be effective. Okay? It's very important for you to be genuine. But be responsible sa mga kinikilos mo din. Okay? That could influence other people as well. Now, I think this would be the conclusion of my talk. Kasi masyado na matagal nagsasalita sa harap nyo. How do we take our leadership to the next level? This is the question, no? Maybe you're wondering, how do we take our leadership to the next level through rapport building? I want you to build your network of leaders. With the things na napag-usapan natin from the start until now, sana magamit niyo yung skills na yun of how do you build rapport with other people to build your own network of leaders, to build your community of change makers, because right now, sa dami na nangyayari, it's very important for us to build alliances, to build relationship with our fellow youth. Kailangan natin mag-build ng community that would help us materialize the vision that we have, especially if we want change for the society or the professional field na nandun kayo. And lastly, build yourself to becoming the leader you wish you had. Okay? Ano ba yung leader na ini-envision nyo na magbi-build ng trust nyo mismo in order for you to follow them? If na-envision nyo yung leader na yon, then build yourself to becoming that leader. Okay? Para at least you become more effective. And I want you to take that leadership image or image of inspiration na meron ka and communicate that with your constituents because that's very essential. Kasi I will leave this last quote na lang. Kasi committed leadership is about holding yourself accountable of communicating a shared value of empathy, empowerment, altruism with your network of leaders to move towards a transformative impact for your communities, either your professional field or your community sa school or community sa Region 4A and beyond. Dito sa Pilipinas or sa ibang bansa pa. Okay? Tandaan natin that committed leadership, we are really accountable of holding ourselves na mag-communicate sa shared value natin of empathy, empowerment, and altruism. Okay? We need to empower other people. We need more leaders like you guys na kayang mag-build ng relationship sa ibang tao. Kasi mahihirapan tayo mag-reach out sa kanila if we do not know the fundamentals of relationship building. Kaya very, very essential yung talk na to. Very, very essential yung topic na to. And I hope na deliver ko yung objectives ng mismong summit. And yeah, if you want to learn more or you want to communicate with me, I'm open naman for your suggestions then, for your insights. Let's connect actually. I would like to hear from you guys then, and we can build rapport then if you want online, so virtually. So these are my contact details lang. And if you want to connect further, feel free lang na i-chat ako or mag-usap lang tayo via email or Facebook siguro. So let's get in touch. Thank you so much and mabuhay kayo padayon mga future accountants ng bayan. Thank you.
Wow, what a great way to end our morning through a lot of insights from our speaker, Mr. Samuel Madriaga, on how to be a good leader. So my takeaway in that, partner, is being a good leader takes time. I think you should start on establishing rapport with your members. So first, in doing so, you need to establish a good communication by, sabi nga ni Mr. Sam, na we need to know the basics of communication because we should create an environment oriented to trust and open communication. And then, after we build that, everything else will follow. How about you, partner?
Ayan, tama ka dyan, partner. Kasi di ba nga, para maging isang leader, you must be also a good follower. Siyempre, kung di ka maalam sumunod, so, paano ka susundin ng ibang tao if you yourself don't follow the rules? So, ayun nga, guys, ano ko din sa naging talk ni ng ating speaker si Sam, Mr. Sam, na yung journey mo into being a leader is hindi siya madali kasi there are struggles talaga na maanan at mararanasan natin along the way, but in the end, it's fulfilling in a way na may na-accomplish ka and you know that na-accomplish mo yon by your own hard work. And alam ng tao na, ay, kilala ko to, he's really a good leader. And makikita mo yon, yung hard work mo is makikita mo sa ibang tao kasi okay, sige, you're a leader but nobody follows you. So what's the sense? So parang, syempre, in order for you to be a good leader, lalabas din yung influential, kumbaga, na, okay, kaya ka sinusunod ng tao kasi you have the principles na dapat sundin. Yung yung parang aura or yung alam nila na responsible ka and na kaya ka nila sinusunod. So talagang, ayun, super nakaka-relate din ako sa naging talk ni Mr. Sam ngayon. So ayan nga guys, at this juncture, we will now be having our open forum. So to address your questions and clarification sa naging discussion ni Mr. Sam ngayong araw. So yan guys, you can cast your questions sa ating Facebook Live at sa our Zoom chat. Yan. So guys, huwag kayong mahiya guys kasi alam naman natin na Mr. Sam is really, really willing to answer your queries and your questions. So guys, yan.
That's right. So habang nandito pa si Mr. Sam, this is your chance na baka meron kayong gumugulo sa inyong isipan. And Mr. Samuel Madriaga can answer that. Comment lang. We'll be reading your questions.
Let's see.
Grabe talaga tong ABM Summit. We had a lot of insights from our two speakers. So how much more kapag later meron pa tayong two more?
Yes, that is the
Sobrang
right
dami
part.
na.
Like, R4, dami talaga prepare ni R4 sa inyo para, you know, for you to be inspired and to strive more every day. Kasi syempre, as a student in this trying times, in this pandemic, talagang sinusubok tayo na, you know, yan, paano maging leader, paano natin mapapabuti or mapapaayos yung ating sarili as an individual, as a student, and syempre, sa ating mga co-officers, ayan.
Yes. Siguro,
Ayan.
while waiting for our... okay. So may question na. So our first question for Mr. Sam would be, how would you handle your members po if they act like they do not care about the work? Thank you po.
Okay. And so thank you so much for that, Jemima, no? So that's very relevant for our context right now. Kasi nga, share ko lang din, we have our new organization. Last August lang kami nag-launch, which is the Alliance of Public Health Advocates. So we have yung problem din minsan of having members na we cannot reach out to them kasi hindi sila nagre-reply masyado. May mga workload na hindi pa nagagawa. We do not know the progress na nangyayari. And kapag may ganong members na nag-act like na hindi nila care na mag-work sila, it's very important for you and responsible ka bilang leader to know what's happening sa kanila. Kasi maybe may underlying factors kung bakit hindi nila ginagawa yung work na yon. It's either because um, it's either because of their mental health, because of other academic workloads, or other priorities na meron sila. So you need to understand, okay? In order for you to understand, kailangan you communicate with them. You can personally chat them, pero make sure na when you're chatting with them or communicating with them, wag mo muna i-convey yung mga work-related tasks. Ang maging intention mo muna, katulad sabi ko kanina, know your intentions. Okay? Intention mo dapat muna is to build your relationship with them in order for you to influence them to work according to the task that you are giving them. So mas mahalaga yon na ma-build mo yung relationship mo muna with them, then influence them in the long run. Influence mo sila na makapag-work. Kasi when you're able to connect an image of inspiration to them, eventually they will follow you. So, yun yung isang mahalaga. And note na, for all the leaders, huwag niyo isipin na may kulang sa inyo kasi maraming mga leaders natin right now, when may members tayo na na-handle na hindi nagke-care about their work, ay inisip agad natin is, baka may kulang sa akin or something na ganun. So, reach out muna before ka muna magduda or ano. Keep your confidence lang. Then reach out to them. So, that's the thing that I can suggest or impart to you.
Wow. So thank you for that, Mr. Samuel. So it's really about connecting with other people. You have to know first kung ano nangyayari before anything else. So thank you. So do we have...
Ayan.
Huwag na kayong mahiya.
Oo guys, huwag na kayong mahiya. Go lang. And let's see sa ating Facebook Live. Ayan.
So ayan. While waiting, I have a personal question for Sam. Kasi I know na you have a lot of organizations. Is there any instance na hindi ka makakonect sa members mo? And if yes, how were you able to overcome it? And if no, gladly. So is there any instance?
Okay, actually yes naman. Meron mga instances natin na actually dalawa yung beses na yun eh. I mean, it's either ako yung ayaw kumonect. May nangyayaring gano'n, okay? Don't pressure yourselves too much. If you don't feel like connecting with them, don't pressure yourself. It's important for you na before you connect with other people, you know that you are ready to initiate the conversation and to sustain yung relationship na yon. It's very important na before you initiate something, kailangan alam mo sa sarili mo that you can sustain that relationship and you have the means to maintain that. So, meron namang instances sa sarili ko na hindi ako nakapag-connect na maayos with my fellow members. It's not because of conflict, but because of inactivity lang. So, yun, may instances na gano'n. And how did I overcome that? Siguro, it's more of persistency. Na if you're persistent enough to them na nakikita nila that you care for them, so kinakamusta ko sila, like gano'n, slowly lang, kahit hindi sila mag-reply, just allow them to have their time na makapag-communicate din sa'yo at ma-build nila yung trust sa'yo. Parang it's important kasi na makita nila na bina-value mo talaga sila. That their opinions matter, that their feelings matter to you as their leader. So, yun yung ginawa ko. Slowly, pero at least alam ko na may nangyayaring progress. And eventually, actually, great friends na rin kami right now in the organization. And nagiging maayos yung relationship namin in the organization. And now, we are working productively together na rin. So, yeah.
Thank you for that. So, ayan, guys.
Ayan, mga future R4JPians, huwag na kayo mahiya, go lang. Just like what we did kay Ate Abigail kanina. Go lang. Ayan. Alam ko nahihiya na naman kayo, guys. Should I ask ayan, meron na, partner. From Jmar Rivera. So this is another question for you, Sam. So do you believe this po, that leaders are born, not made?
Wow. Very good question, no? Thank you for that, Jmar. Pinahirapan ako. No, thank you for that, Jmar. Actually, that's been, iniisip ko siya matagal na. Leaders are born ba talaga? Na hindi talaga sila ginagawa? Well, I beg to disagree to that statement. Kasi, marami sa mga leaders natin, meron kasing yung leadership kasi, it's something that you embrace. It's something that you accept mismo as a person. Hindi na pinanganak ka, na sinasabi na natin, ito magiging leader to. Or ito, magiging magaling na presidente to, parang ganon, di ba? Hindi naman siya ganon eh. It's something na binubuo, you equip yourself in the process. Kaya hindi pinapanganak na, pag pinanganak ka leader ka na or something, it's made actually. It's made with persistence, it's made with courage, it's made with the acceptance that you know that you are capable of leading other people. As long as naniniwala ka to that belief, na tinag-take hold ka to that belief that you are capable of leading and empowering other people, then you are made to be a leader. Okay? So, mahalaga yon na hindi natin isipin na ayaw na be leader kasi pinanganak ako, mahihain na ako eh. You can empower, or you can overcome yung ganong thinking. Kaya, hindi siya pinapanganak yung mga leaders natin. Meron mga tao na pinapanganak sila na maganda na agad yung rapport building skills nila, innate sa kanila na maganda yung interpersonal skills nila. But yung mga tao na yun, karamihan din, hindi naman nila ine-embrace yung pagiging leader nila. They are not using that to maximize the opportunities for them to lead. So it's better for you to build yourself up to becoming the leader that you wish na ikaw yun. So yun yung mahalaga doon. So yun, build yourself lang, build your confidence lang of leading people, then eventually you'll become an effective leader.
Yan, I also agree din sa statement ni Sam, guys. Kasi, syempre, totoo yon. I mean, kung bata ka pa lang, when you're young, talagang, you're good at making rapport to others. Na it doesn't mean na naman, na madadala mo yon hanggang dulo. Kasi there are changes na when you're growing up. Syempre, puberty, syempre, yung consciousness mo sa sarili mo is yun yung factor na nakaka-affect. Kung masiglahin ka nung bata, then when puberty hits, yun, mahihain ka na. So, it really depends. Sa akin, it really depends on you kung paano mo dadalhin yung sarili mo and paano mo ipapakita sa tao yung sarili mo, on how you present yourself to others in order for them to approach you or kausapin ka nila ng mabilis. Kasi makikita mo agad yun sa tao if you're approachable or not. Kasi may dalawang tao ay liligaw ka, torn in between sino kakausapin mo kasi hindi mo alam kung sino yung sasagot or not. But when you're showing that aura na you're approachable, most likely that person will talk to you and ask saan ba tong lugar na to. Kasi doon talaga din magsisimula yun, sa sarili mo. Ayun, ganun siya sa akin.
Yes, I think yung sinabi ni Sam kanina is still connected with Miss Abigail said. Yung character is still
Yes,
the most
partner.
important thing. You need to build your characteristics to be able to assist or lead or something. So we have one questions from our Facebook Live from Mr. Troy Concepcion. His question, na-experience ko po kasi na mag-lead sa isang pairings. Ano po maa-advise nyo sa akin knowing na wala kaming good communication? Thank you po.
Mag-lead saan?
I'm sorry?
Nag-lead saan?
Sorry. Alright. Let me repeat. So, mag-lead sa isang pairings. Pairings, sabi niya.
Parent? Ano ba?
Pairings.
Parent. Okay, kala parent. Okay, sige. So, naranasan niya na mag-lead sa isang parent pero wala silang magandang relationship. Pairing. Pero wala silang magandang relationship. Okay. So, if you're experiencing that, I don't know if nandun ka pa sa situation na yun right now. It's important for you to get to know more about your partner or kung sino yung ka-pair mo muna. So, kilalanin mo muna siya. So, sinabi kanina ni, nakalimutan ko sino sumagot kanina, pero it's important for you to, yung relationship kasi binibuild naman yan eh. Hindi naman yan mangyayari lang na once na pinair kayo together, okay na kayo, na nandun agad yung rapport nyo. So, make effort pa rin to build relationship with him or her, kung sino yung ka-pair mo. Like, get to know him better or her Kailangan mo talaga muna siyang maigi. Like, alamin mo kung saan siyang skill na magaling or din siya nag-excel. Parang ganun. It's more of that getting yourself na maintindihan siya. So, through the process of communication pa rin. So, maganda na i-remind mo yung sarili mo with how you initiate your conversations with him or her. So, maganda yon. Kasi, yun, doon mo mabibuild yung relationship eh. At saka, minsan, kapag ayaw niya mag-work, just let him be lang. Parang, kaya mo lang muna sila kung ayaw pa nila makipag-work sa'yo as a pair. So, okay lang naman yun. Pero mahalaga na i-build mo muna yung relationship mo prior to anything. Okay. That's it for me.
Thank you for that, Sam.
Ayan, thank you so much. Bali, ito pa, Sam, we have another question. So we have two pa here sa ating Zoom. So sabi ni Laika Casimiro, how can you execute committed leadership when you were just appointed or assigned to be a leader? Non-voluntary. Thank you po.
Okay, so it's a very good question. If you are just assigned to be a leader, then embrace the duty if you want to. If you do not want to embrace the duties na embedded dun sa leadership role na yun, don't accept. Okay? Do not commit to something that you know na hindi mo naman kayang panindigan. Okay? So, mas maganda yon na mabibuild dun yung integrity mo mismo. Hindi naman yun ibig sabihin na nag-deny ka to that leadership role na kasi hindi mo kaya or ayaw mo mismo sa sarili mo. Hindi ibig sabihin na hindi ka na magaling na leader. It means na marunong ka mag-delineate kung alin yung kaya mo sa hindi. It's very important for a leader. Kasi maraming leader na ina-accept lang siya, but they know, initially, they know na hindi nila kaya mag-commit to that specific duty. And eventually, nag-fail sila as a leader because na-overestimate nila yung sarili nila. Kaya you are doing a great job if you are not committing to something that you know that you can't handle. So, it's better for you if you want to take that initially na binigay sa'yo, then take it. Commit to it. Commit to the duties na binigay sa'yo. If you don't feel like leading that group, wag ka muna mag-commit. Say, pass muna. Okay? So maybe there are other better leaders that would take that role na mas maayos din at mas capable din. It's in order for you to empower them as well.
Okay. So, tama yan from Mr. Sam na huwag kayong matatakot na mag-decline because there will be a time na kayo naman yung mag-lead. But for now, you just observe and what's this? Diba nga, experience is the best teacher. So, mag-experience muna kayo ng a lot of things before kayo mag-lead. And that is not the problem. So, don't be afraid. Ayan. Ayan, sabi ng ating president from our FB Live, you wouldn't be there in that situation if you weren't capable.
Yan, partner, that is so true. Yan, di ba? And ayan, we have another one pa ulit from Ken G. Almazan. So, sabi niya, how do you monitor the performance of the people that you have to lead?
Okay. For this one, in terms of monitoring of performance, it depends on the context or it depends on the system that you are implying mismo or imposing dun sa mismong organization nyo or dun sa people na nililid mo. It can be formal or it can be informal then. First, informal muna tayo. You can monitor their performance informally by asking them questions lang that would lead to the objectives na gusto mo mangyari. So just casually ask them, kamusta na ganito, kamusta na yung ganyan. So eventually pag sumagot sila, you can monitor na rin yung performance nila. But make it regular lang din. Para hindi naman nila makita na once a month ka lang nangangamusta or something. Maganda na mangamusta ka rin sa kanila. And in terms of formalities naman, you can set your own key performance indicators. So pag makikita mo yung KPI or yung KPI na tinatawag natin, if you have set that at initial pa lang nung relationship building mo with your members or with your fellow leaders, kapag may sinet ka na ng objectives or goals mo na gusto mong ma-receive, makikita mo yun eventually as you work with them. Makikita mo yun, yung may roadmap ka of your KPIs, makikita mo if na-achieve ng members mo yun or hindi. Kasi ikaw yung nag-lead, ikaw yung nag-oversee eh. So in the individual perspective mismo or sa individual level, you can casually ask them about their progress. But in the organization level, you can set your KPIs para mas ma-monitor mo ng maayos yung performances nila. There are a lot of tools that you can use to monitor the performance, but if you just want to do it casually, just approach them lang and ask them how was it, kamusta yung performance. You can set evaluations for them. So, yun, mas maganda yun. May SWOT analysis pala tayo na ginagamit for evaluation if you want to. So, you feel free to email me lang para I can send you a format. Pero, feeling ko ginagamit niya na rin naman siya. So, yun lang. I hope na makatulong.
Okay. Thank you for that. We also have another question from Miss K. Carcossia. Paano po if hindi interested yung ka-pair kahit nag-reach out na po yung leader? So, I think sa context to ng classroom.
Okay. So, sa context na, hirap niyan eh, no? Ma'am, pa-void. Yun na lang. Medyo, ang maganda dito, for, if hindi sila interested dun sa, if you nag-reach out sila, then know your priorities muna. What are your priorities as a leader? Priority mo ba, if you are seeing na hindi na talaga sila nag-reach out, if wala na talagang chance paano makapag-work sila with you, and you have exhausted every methods para ma-reach out sila. If you know na you have exhausted every methods para makapag-build ng relationship sa kanila and wala pa rin, know your priorities. Ano ba yung priority mo? To carry out the objective or to build a relationship with them? So ano muna yung priority mo? If kailangan mo na natapusin yung task na yon, do it by yourself or do it with the people that you have. Ito yung lagi ko sinasabi sa members namin na kapag nagko-complain sila ng mga inactive members, sinasabi ko sa kanila, if given the time frame na meron kayo para gawin yung isang output, maximize what you have. Maximize mo yung human resources na meron ka and do not waste your energies dun sa mga members natin pa so far na hindi pa mismo, wala pang commitment dun sa workload na ginagawa natin. Kasi eventually, they will be committed naman kapag gusto na nila. Okay? We do not impose everything as leaders. We want them to be inspired by what we do. So, yun yung mas maganda, na hindi tayo nag-i-impose. Kasi, when we impose, magiging sapilitan. And eventually, magiging pangit yung outcome. So, I want you to maximize your resources currently. Ano ba yung meron ka na kaya mong gawin in order for you to carry out the mission that you have? So, and start with that. And eventually, kapag nakikita niya na nagpo-progress na, then let's hope na maging interested siya to the matter na ginagawa niya sa classroom or sa organization. Yeah, that's it for me.
Ayan, thank you, Sam. So, ayan, mga questions is bumabaha na. So, we have another questions from Arabella Balmosena. So, sabi niya, whenever you are in a dilemma, is it always good to resort in what we all know, majority wins?
Okay. That's a very good question, Arabella. Kasi that's a very common problem. And thankfully, na-experience din namin yung ganito. I do not know if you're familiar with the call of, sa student council na lang namin. I'll use it as an example, Arabella. Sa student council, nagkaroon kami ng call, yung UP, di ba? Nagkaroon kami ng call to end the SEM. Okay, I don't ko kung familiar kayo with that call. Pero nagkaroon nga kami ng call before to end the SEM and to mass promote the students. But marami sa mga students ang gustong ituloy pa rin yung STEM kasi kakaunti na lang yung time frame to accomplish everything. So dun sa nag-set kami ng poll, lumabas dun sa poll, paano pag ganito yung naging may susundin mo yung majority wins? May majority pa rin ba sa ganitong situation that you have 51% na okay na ituloy yung semester and 49% na gustong i-end na yung semester? So that's a dilemma for a leader. Kasi majority wins, madali siya kapag 70-30, 60-40, madali siya kapag ka 80-20. Pero kapag ka ganun na yung 50-50 halos yung percentage ng pinamumunuan mo, ng say ng iyong members, will majority matter, 'di ba? So ang ginawa ang natutunan ko from that situation is that know how to find the common ground. Okay, ng mga pinagdidiskusyonan nyo. So when you have a discussion, when you have a conflict among your organization, know how to negotiate between two parties. As a leader, you need to know how to mediate and to build a common ground among those two parties or those two arguments na pinapresent ng inyong organization members. So kasi, it's very important in order for you to consider yung parehas. Kasi for most cases, may point parehas ng pinaglalaban dyan sa argument mismo or sa pinagbobotohan. It's really important for you to negotiate. Find the common ground. Ano yung pwede natin i-negotiate sa part mo? Ano yung pwede natin i-negotiate sa argument mo? Then build a unified solution out of that argument. So in order for that, na-consider mo both sides. And wala masyadong conflict. So if meron man silang mga personal intentions pa out of their own argument, then they can dwell it by themselves na. So you as a leader, ayun yung ginagawa natin. Kasi minsan, majority won't really be the solution, especially for those cases.
Wow, that is right. You have to weigh yung pros and cons kasi hindi lang naman basta, oh, thank you daw po, Mr. Sam Madriaga.
Ethan, Arabella.
So, that's right. I agree with Sam said. So, baka may questions pa kayo. If it is your time, sayang naman, nandito na yung speaker natin.
Kaya nga guys, huwag na kayong mahiya guys. Ayan. Communication is the key. Kung mahihiya kayo, wala, hindi tayo uusad guys.
Yeah.
Yan, speak up guys. You have to speak up. Ayan, tingnan natin. Baka meron sa FB Live na. So, ayan guys. Ayan. Wala pa. So, huwag kayong mahiya guys. Ay, wait. I have a question pala. First, din. For me, what do you prefer? As a leader, as a leader, yung pag-ano mo as a leader, yung pag-lead mo, is it okay for you, is it okay to be straightforward? Or let them know yung mali nila and let them improve themselves na lang? Yung parang pinpoint mo yung mali nila and hindi mo sasabihin and let them realize that they're wrong or they're up to something not good or up to something bad.
Okay. Sige. So parang it's more of okay ba sa'yo na mag-move on na lang sa ano or just to pinpoint yung mga mistakes ng mga members? Tama ba?
Parang gano'n ako.
Okay,
Parang
sige.
papalipasin mo na, ay, okay, hindi niya naintindihan, ba't siya pinagalitan? Or sasabihin mo, papagalitan mo siya kasi mali siya. Ganon.
Okay. So in those certain scenarios na situation na meron tayo, it is important for you to know your members muna. Kilalanin mo muna sila. Are they receptive of your constructive criticisms? Are they receptive enough of the suggestions na meron ka when there are conflicts? Or alam mo na nag-lead to argument kapag nagkakaroon ng ganung scenario? So kasi iba't iba yan eh. Meron mga members natin na kapag sinabi mo sa kanila upfront na okay, ganito yung pagkakamali mo or something, basta remember lang, as leaders, kailangan maayos yung pagkaka-communicate natin sa kanila. You need to let them feel pa rin that they are valuable. Pero may better solution tayo na pwedeng i-propose into something na nangyayari or sa mistake nila. It's we are responsible in correcting them. Okay? Kapag alam nating mali. We do not tolerate yung mga ganong ano. Pero it is important for you to know yung character ng mismong members natin. Kasi meron nga na nag-lead to argument, meron namang hindi. So, in those certain scenarios, if alam mo sa sarili mo, kilala mo yung member mo, you know what approach to do. Kasi kapag kinonfront mo siya mismo ng maraming tao, kunwari, it's either magli-lead yun to parang rebellion or something, rebellious nung member mo, or magiging defensive siya mismo. So, when those mistakes na nangyayari siya, it's better for you to talk privately para sa inyong dalawa lang din muna. And ipag-communicate niyo yun ng maayos. Okay? Basta kilala mo yung member na kinakausap mo. And yeah, you need to also adjust. Katulad ng sabi mo kanina, PJ, we need to adjust in those terms of conflicts na meron tayong, we need to know when to step aside and when to confront them and to tell them that they are wrong. So mahalaga kasi yun sa atin bilang leaders. So ayun yun for me. Basta kilalanin mo sila, okay?
Thank you. Ayan, we have. Ayan, sabi ni Sam, habol note lang na as a leader, we are responsible in valuing the needs of our members. So ayan, we have another question from Laika Casimiro. When you are in a planning process po, are you going to designate the tasks based on their expertise or on what they want po?
It's a very good question, Laika. So thank you so much for that question. Actually, both. During planning kami, ang tinatanong ko lagi sa mga members ko, okay, alam ko mismo kung ano yung expertise nila kasi nagkaka-work ko na sila before. And tinatanong ko sila lagi, ano yung gusto nyong gawin? Kasi maybe your members want to explore other fields, di ba? Hindi na natin alam yon. It's better for them to work with the task na alam nilang gusto nila kesa tayo mismo yung magbigay sa kanila. Even though expertise nila yon. Magaling yung member mo into pub. Pero buong buhay niya na pubs na yung ginagawa niya and he wants to explore other field pa in leadership. It's very important for you to understand ano yung gusto nila and for you to know ano saan sila expert. Kasi when you know na when you know yung expertise nila and gusto nila ng ibang field na hindi pa nila sila familiar with, you are there to help them. So ayun yung purpose kung bakit mo alam yung expertise nila. You are there to guide them. Makapag-provide ka ng reinforcements for them to become better. That's empowerment. Okay? So ang ano doon, it's for you to know both. Okay? Alamin mo muna. And it's very important to follow what they want. Kasi kapag gusto nila yon, gagawin nila lahat in order for them to improve and to become better to the field that they want. Ganun din tayo sa courses natin. Kaya ayaw ko ng OT. Gusto ko lumipat ng nursing. So kapag kahit hindi ako magaling sa nursing, gagawin ko lahat in order for me to achieve the goals of nursing. And ganun din in leadership. You need to help them to achieve the goals that they want by empowering them. Okay? So gamitin nila yung previous expertise nila to become better to the new one na task na ibibigay mo sa kanila. So it's something then. It involves communication among your members. Readiness, ready ba sila or hindi sila ready? That depends on your communication with them. Yun yung sa akin. Thank you rin, Laika.
So sabi nga nila, di ba, mahirap ipilit ang ayaw. I think this is in all aspects naman, even in leadership, in our college journey, and in everything. Diba, mahirap talaga. Good thing na kapag gusto mo, mas madali kang makaka-function. The result will be excellent.
Yes, oo. Tama, partner. And ayan, that is it. Future R for JPIAN. So I hope na marami kayong natutunan sa ating speaker for today na si Mr. Samuel Madriaga. And ayan guys, I hope that lit the fire inside you. Yan, yung burning torch na sa leader. Ayan, sana na mag-liab yan real soon and ma-experience nyo rin on what we are doing and what Mr. Sam is doing. Yan.
So there, thank you for your active participation during our open forum, guys. So if you have further questions, di ba kanina naman ipinost ni Mr. Samuel yung kanyang social media accounts, you can reach out to him and I think he'll be willing to answer your questions. But at this moment, I'll be reading the Certificate of Appreciation for our speaker. So this Certificate of Appreciation is hereby presented to Mr. Samuel C. Madriaga for sharing his time, knowledge, and expertise as a guest speaker for the lecture series during the ABM Summit with the theme Explora, a voyage of endless possibilities of the National Federation of Junior Philippine Institute of Accountants, Region 4, given this 31st of January 2021, signed by Regional Vice President for Academics, Annabel Angeles, Ain Caitlin R. Aguinaldo, Regional Council President, Mark Jason Romaraog, Regional Vice President for Leadership Development and Social Civic Involvement, John Jeric Fernandez, Regional Co-Advisor, Maria Leia Orgalias, Regional Co-Advisor, and George Matthew Makatangay, CPA, PSM, Regional Advisor. So once again, thank you so much, Mr. Samuel C. Madriaga.
Thank you so much, PJ and Naya. No? Thank you rin for inviting me again to this event. So it's been really fun for me to share my insights to you guys. Thank you and padayon guys. Maraming salamat.